So this is the Alamo we know today. Not really much left except for the church and the convento. So what happened to the Alamo? Why is this all there is? Let's take a trip back in time to 1745. First founded as Mission San Antonio de Valero on May 1st, 1718, south of San Pedro Springs, a year later the mission was moved to the east side of the San Antonio River. After a hurricane in 1724, the mission was once again moved to its third and present location, and the stone convento was not began until 1727. This is 1745. The first stone church is under construction, and the Indian population was up to 311. This is 1756. The first stone church, which was began in 1744, was completed and then collapsed due to poor construction. The second stone church is now under construction with an Indian population of 328. This is 1762. The new stone church, which was began in 1756, is still under construction and is no more than half done, and the Indian population is 275. This is 1772. The sacristy, baptistry, and confessional were completed in 1763. Now the nave arches for the roof have been added, but the church construction will be halted in 1773 due to lack of workers, and at this point the Indian population is 126. This is 1789. With an Indian population of only 52, the new church will never be completed. I estimate this to be about 1790, but this is how the new church of Mission San Antonio de Valero would have appeared had it been completed on schedule. This is 1793, and the mission is secularized. After being a mission for 75 years, this old walled compound was now called Pueblo de Valero. 1809, Mission San Antonio de Valero becomes the Alamo, after a company known as Alamo de Perez enters San Antonio and occupies the Alamo in 1803. 1835, Mexican General Martin Perfecto de Cos and 500 soldiers arrive on October 11, 1835, and fortify the Alamo and Bejar. During the 56-day siege of Bejar, the Alamo was constantly bombarded by Texian cannons and eventually taken from the Mexicans. 1836, General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna arrives in San Antonio on February 23rd to take back the Alamo. After a 13-day siege, the famous Battle of the Alamo occurs on March 6, 1836. After his loss at the Battle of San Jacinto on April 21st, Santa Anna ordered the Alamo's fortifications to be demolished. Single walls were leveled, as well as cannon platforms and pickets were torn apart and burned. 1845. Although mostly in ruins, the Alamo's old Indian quarters are still being occupied by local families. 1847. The U.S. Army enters the Alamo and repairs the old Mission Convento. 1850. The U.S. Army repairs the old Mission Church for use as a warehouse by adding windows and installing the famous bell-shaped hump over the facade to enclose the new gabled roof. 1861. The Alamo during the Civil War. 1871. After much debate, the low barracks and main gate of the Alamo is finally demolished, after being considered old and in the way. 1877. Honoré Grenade purchases the old convento and courtyard for $20,000 for use as a museum and a grocery store. This is also when the Alamo sacristy is cut in half. 1910. The convento demolition begins. 1912. The Alamo's old convento was almost completely demolished before finally being saved by the Daughters of the Republic of Texas. 1940. The Alamo we currently know is almost taking shape. The convento is rebuilt, the church has a brand new cement vaulted roof, a new souvenir shop is built, and the cenotaph is put into place. And this is the Alamo we know today. The road outside the church is finally closed off, the gardens are expanded, and with many excavations taking place, the Alamo's southwest corner is reconstructed. As we go back to 1836, here's a nice layout of the Alamo and all the different parts and what their names were. I appreciate y'all watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.